What would you see would be the differences between the blockchain and the DAG chain in terms of that scalability to becoming one of these kind of top, 5 or 6 global currencies?
As of today, blockchain is not scalable yet. It's a possibility that it will be improved, and in the future, the amount of transactions that can be done on blockchain is much higher, and hopefully it will happen. I'm not a big fan of patching something, so building scalability layers on something. I'm much more interested in creating something that is already scalable by its core architecture. That is what DAG chain is about. In the first layer, in the core, being scalable. So if you look 10 years into the future, then of course we don't know what will be the best or the most scalable technology. Yet we can assume, we can predict how many transactions, when we talk about money, then how many transactions are being done in the world today and how many will be maybe done in the future. Then when we talk especially about money and using money, doing payments, then if there's a cryptocurrency that can do a few 100,000 transactions per second, then that is more than enough. So I would say that the DAG chain is very suitable for small communities, big communities and very big communities. Blockchain as of today is only suitable for small communities. It's not suitable for something global. In the future, might be, but as of today, there are challenges, and therefore DAG chain for sure is much better version or much better technology to use for the underlying technology of a cryptocurrency that is aiming to be one of those global currencies.
But with Dagcoin, for example, obviously it's based on DAG chain, which is more scalable than the blockchain. But Dagcoin, for example, has a finite number of coins, which is about 9 billion. If you take a big cash economy, for example, like India, they have in circulation maybe around $500 billion US dollars worth of rupees. And there's only 9 billion DAG coins. So if even a small percentage of the Indian population starts using DAG coins, anything around $1, $2, $10 or more, or even sometimes more, becomes a price in the shop which is 0.1 or 0.0009. How do you see? I see that as a big problem in scalability, because nobody wants to go to the shop or the online store and figure out all of these 0.00 or 0. Something prices. It's very difficult to calculate how much do I have, how much does this cost.
Absolutely, that would be a huge challenge, right? But how it's built is that one DAG coin, one DAG itself is 1,000 millidags, and 1 millidag is 1,000 microdags. So when the value of one DAG becomes very high, then every day we will use millidags. So we will use a smaller denomination of a DAG.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is it becomes a reverse of a fiat currency. So if we go back 50 years or so, you could go to the shop now and buy, obviously we didn't have euros then, if you take something like pounds, for example, for just a few pence you could go and buy a loaf of bread or a cup of tea, and now it costs £2 or £3 or $2, $3, $4, $5. So this increases, whereas with crypto you're saying it's going to decrease. It's going the opposite way.
It can be taken this way, a little bit, but basically when we want to have something that is €1 and when one DAG is worth €1,000, then what do? We just use one micro DAG. That will be €1.
So would you say in that sense it's scalable down infinitely?
Not infinitely, but sufficiently.
Okay. Because obviously as time goes on, the years go on, the generations go on, inflation is obviously increasing all the time. So the currency has to react to that in some way.
Yeah, if you put it in numbers, then there's a very long way to go. There is sufficient scalability in that.